What is going on? DJ Crowley here once again. It's Simmer Down live from home. We're doing the video thing, and we got one of my buddies, Brett from Roots of Creation, in the house. What's going on, man?
How are you? How are you?
Man, I'm doing so great, man. It's so cool to hang out with all of my my musical friends through this program. I can't really get out on the road too much, but we still can do the video thing. So it's been so cool to be able to at least see everybody on a video screen and talk to them and hang out with them. But man, we got so much to talk about. Let's get into it. You just got done opening for Ziggy Marley. Let's talk about that real quick. How was that?
That was amazing. That was incredible. It's my third time playing with him, just sporadically over the years, and invited to play at this place in Webster, Massachusetts, a little bit outside of Worcester. Those of you who aren't from New England, that's like considered a suburb of Boston, so it'd be like a double suburb of Boston. But it's on this lake, which actually is the lake has the longest name out of any lake in the whole country. It's like, I can't even say it. It's a Native American name, but it's like Lake Chamanakatagadagadagadabadabadab. It's so long. It's awesome. I actually got somebody to say it to me at the merch table last night, which was hilarious.
Oh, wow. I don't think I've heard of that lake. I'll have to look that one up. Everybody out there, check out the lake, the longest name ever in the world.
So that was cool. And I guess Ziggy Marley, I guess, doesn't really do openers a lot. And so I was, blessed to be invited by the venue and then approved by his team to do it. So it's his first show of the tour, and we got to be the only opener. So that was fun.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fans out there. It was cool. And we made some new fans and did a kind of duo setup because, there wasn't a lot of space on stage. So I brought Alex Brander, does percussion and drums for us. And we did a little duo and looping set, and it was a lot of fun,
Killer, man. I mean, I love Ziggy. It was one of the first interviews I ever did actually in person at
awesome.
Thompson Bowling Arena here in Knoxville years and years ago. And he told me one thing. He said, all music is music. No music is not music. And that always just sat with me. Like it opened me up to all these different genres, even pop music too. I mean, it was a great talk. And that guy is just, I mean, he's the closest to Bob. I mean, Bob's eldest son, right?
Yeah. It was really cool is he's doing a tour that's, a total tribute to his dad. So I had never seen him do this before. I had seen the brothers come together and do a tribute to their dad, like all together at Stephen Marley's Kaya Fest, which we got to play, but I never seen Ziggy do just a whole set, and his band was super tight. My favorite part was Exodus, because that really got the crowd fired up. But it's remarkable. Like, they had the female backup singers, they had an awesome percussion player, a ripping guitarist. Like they had the sound dialed in. It just sounded incredible, and they crushed it. It was a lot of fun.
Speaking of crushing it, you guys are crushing it with this new record. We're going to talk about that in a second. But for everybody that doesn't know who Rock is, Roots of Creation, ROC, tell everybody about your band.
Awesome. Yeah. So if you don't know where we're at, we're Roots of Creation, representing the 603, the ROC. Some people call us Roots. Some people call us Rock. Whatever you want to call us is cool. You can call me the gingerbread man, whatever, whatever you feel. But yeah, my name's Brett Wilson, and we're from New Hampshire. We're a reggae rock band, but we also like to jam. Sometimes people think we're a reggae rock band that jams. Sometimes people say we're a jam band that likes to play some reggae. I don't know, whatever labels that you want to put on them, or tear away the labels. We kind of just do our own thing up here in the Northeast. Heavily influenced by California culture since I was a young lad, with skateboards and punk rock and jam music and stuff, and just kind of twisted it our own way with the Northeast scene.
So if you're just tuning in, you're late. It's okay. We got Brett from Roots of Creation in the house out of New Hampshire.
They're on reggae time.
Yeah, everybody's always on reggae time. Unless you got to be at a show, you got to get to that loading.
Simmer down now. Simmer down now.
Simmer. So real quick, guys, rootsofcreation.com. They got a vinyl pre-order, exclusive merch, pins and CDs on the website. We're going to talk about all this stuff coming up. But before that, man, I like to call it the jamdemic. It is a pandemic, of course, but everybody on our side in the musical world, we couldn't jam, no live shows. Tell us about your experience during the jamdemic, pandemic, whatever you like to call it, and kind of how it was, man. I've been talking to everybody. Usually the first or second question that I'm asking here, and it's such an interesting answer because there's so many good things that have come out of it as well.
Yes. I would say for me, on a personal, musical, and business level, it was very good for me. But at first, I thought that I was going to go bankrupt and maybe, not get to see my children as much, and just my whole world was going to explode, because I was kind of going through some personal stuff, figuring out, who's going to see the kids when, separating from their mom, figuring out that kind of stuff. At the same time, all of my work disappeared, which is touring. And, it was like, and we wanted to make all this new music, but we couldn't because we didn't have a budget. And I thought, oh, okay, all these band shows disappeared. I don't think the pandemic's going to shut down these little bar gigs that I have. So maybe I'll get a part-time job and, I'll do these little bar gigs, Stu. And then a couple weeks later, those were canceled. And I was like, fuck, what are we going to do?
Exactly, man.
Slowly but surely, my girlfriend at the time was like, she's really into like clothing and surfing and that kind of culture, and she was like, let's turn, you always had cool merch, let's turn it into like a more of a clothing brand, like kind of thing, like let's push that stuff. And I started live streaming, and people were making requests, and we made it fun, like turned it into a game, like if you donate to the tip jar, you're entered to win something. And like just it actually ended up being really cool, like, and connecting more on a personal level. And then having people tune in from like all over the world, and in states that we haven't played, like Alaska, or just having steady crews in like Boise, Idaho, or just random spots that maybe we've played once or twice, but just, and then really finding out like, who are your biggest fans? Because the pandemic surely showed like who, I was looking over like wicked late with doing my taxes, because it was a shitty year, and like looking back on it, I'm like, keep seeing the same names over and over again, like who supported the Kickstarter, who was there at the live streams. And I'm like, man, there's some people out there that really like got us through. Eventually we ended up applying for a loan, and unemployment kicked in, but we had to fight kind of tooth and nail for a while with no support whatsoever. And we just had the fans help, and allowed me to do some remote learning with my 9-year-old, and really settle into kind of having my kids half the time, and what's that going to be like, what's remote learning going to be like. And then it's like, oh, I'm off the hamster wheel of touring, like let's focus on the creativity, let's get in the studio, let's write some new music, let's do some band live streams, let's and then venues and festivals started reaching out, oh, can you do this live stream for this spot? And can we did some fundraising for Bradley's house on some some of the dates that made sense for Bradley Noel's like birth or death dates, and hopped on that compilation record. And we did a couple of cool like Zoom style jams, so that didn't stop the jams. We played at a couple shows, one in Wyoming, one in Hampton Beach. We had Mohali, we had Paul W, we had Andy from Stupid, all come in and do Fire on the Mountain virtually. So they recorded the parts separately and then our video engineer had to compile them together.
Oh,
Dan,
wow.
Dan Kelly did that. So we did some virtual, literally some virtual video, jamming. So we didn't let it stop us, but it surely was, you know, difficult in the beginning, if not, thinking everything was going to explode. But I feel like, it forced some personal creative growth, and the band made it through, and, kind of showed us what we're made of. What is it really all about? Why are we here? Why are we doing this?
Yeah, I mean, it takes everybody coming together for something like that. I mean, the fans, the family that we like to call them,
Yeah.
the business side of it, the managers and everything. You have to literally, it's like, okay, well, we've never dealt with this before, because in 1918, none of us were here.
Right.
So, it really showed this power and this passion that the musicians and fans alike have, to like, okay, well, we're going to all come together as one
Right.
and figure this out. And I watched some of your live streams. It was so fun. And there were really so many good things, believe it or not, that came from this whole situation that we dealt with. When negativity arises, positivity is usually right around the corner. And it's crazy how many people came out to support all these artists. I mean, those tip jars were just overflowing. And I mean, that's how artists survive. Everybody out there, these artists can't just, work from home. You know what I mean? The live stream was the only thing they could do. And that's our livelihood. That's the money we make. And big shout out to the fans. And I want to go into the fans real quick here for a second, because you guys have a very, very open, loving relationship with your fans when it comes to the online community that you have. We're going to talk about that. And then also at the live shows, you have all these cool things that you do for the fans. Tell us about all the stuff you do for the fans.
Sure. I kind of learned from just being, I started out as a music fan. I think most musicians do, but maybe not all. And, started out doing some of the stuff that, I met you on the road. You were doing, passing out flyers. I was on a college radio show at Franklin Pierce. Like I started out as like a super music, junkie. So, I saw bands that, like Fish, doing interactive things on stage, like having a different set list every night, or, other bands like that, like, that were local bands. Everybody's taping their shows and trading them, and they're not charging them for it. Or, recently, bands having exclusive, posters or pins for each show, or just making everything like special and unique. Like, how is everything an event? And, what's the theme of, the Halloween show? Or, how can we twist this song in a different direction? Or, what's the crowd looking like? Are they enjoying the jams? Or are they enjoying like more of a dubbed out vibe? And how can we like blow their minds and take them in a different direction? Just always kind of trying to make it, creative and in an art form that's, happening in the present moment.
Exactly. And tell everybody how anybody out there that's interested in becoming part of the Rock family, how can they do that online, social media wise?
Of course. Yeah. So we have all the regular social media properties, but we have a Facebook group called ROC Family. And during the pandemic, we started to kind of create that on our website as well. So if you go to rootsofcreation.com, there's a little button, you can click on it. And that way you'll be on our email list and our text list, as well as in the Facebook group, because some people don't know, all the musicians know, we're basically renting or squatting on these social media properties, for free. And when something is free, one of the best sayings anybody ever told me, you're the product. So if something's free, you're the product. We are the product for Zuckerberg, and it's served us, well, but it does, limit us with, what people see. I saw somebody comment today, why am I seeing that you're opening for Ziggy Marley the day after you opened for him? Why did I not see that yesterday?
Exactly.
And
Yes.
they don't understand that their news feed is being limited because, they're seeing, whatever people are paying to advertise, or what the algorithm, or what somebody behind a computer desk in Silicon Valley or in India or wherever it is telling, to put in their news feed. So the one of the most important things, I think, and I can't stress it enough, that a band or a fan can do is to connect on a platform that the band or artist owns. It's, that might be not the most poppin' place, it might not be Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, or whatever, but it will always be there, and it will not disappear, overnight. Like, I'm 39, so I was on MySpace, right? And our band was doing well on there. That's how I discovered Revolution and Soja and a bunch of bands that are crushing it right now. And it was helpful, but it almost disappeared overnight to spam and bots and all sorts of crazy stuff. So that could happen to Facebook, and then all of a sudden, how are we going to stay in touch? Where does the community go? You know what I mean? So
Exactly. And the groups now are the way to go. You are so, I wasn't even going to get into this. I've been asking, artists about this as well. And I'm glad you're speaking on it, because there is no organic anymore. If you don't have a viral hit on a post you're making, then it's not going to go anywhere, and the algorithms will throw it off. I mean, a
and
lot of,
actually
yeah.
and actually just sorry to interject, but I like to watch this show, with Bill Maher. I used to watch his show, Politically Incorrect. He's awesome. Like, he's kind of a liberal guy, but at the same time, he's kind of in the center, and he always brings up conservative people and gives them a voice, and he's really fair and balanced. At the same time, he's like, you're an idiot, I'm going to move on to the next thing. Like, he's funny, and like, he's no bullshit, and I just really respect him. And he always brings on this guy who used to work at Facebook and did a documentary on it. And I forget what the name of the documentary is, but I think it's either on Netflix or Amazon Prime. But he brings him on, and this guy literally studies, what does social media do to your brain?
Mm-hmm.
How are the algorithms run? And because he worked there, and he basically said, right now, social media is pretty much responsible for the division of the country, because it rewards what is the most divisive post, because the divisive posts get the most comments and arguments and stuff. So then that goes to the top of the news feed. So what are you going to see? You're going to see the most negative things, because the most negative things, unfortunately, get the most traction, because that's when people are arguing. They're not just, throwing down a heart and saying, oh, your niece or your daughter is so beautiful. They're having a discussion, which is then telling the algorithm, to show it to you. So you're going to see a lot of negative things. And the guy was saying, man, what that has done to people's brains is, you can see actual in real life with the polarization of the United States and the world, in terms of, like, there's almost two worlds, during the pandemic. There was the CNN world that thought, that the world was ending and that COVID was going to kill everybody. And then there was the Fox News world that was like, COVID, it's just a cold. And it's like, we can fix it with, whatever they were saying, like drinking bleach, or I don't know what the hell they were saying, but it's like, no, it's not a fucking cold, and it's not going to kill the whole world. It's a freaking virus. And like, it's like, what happened to common sense? Like, oh, well, now we know common sense was thrown out the window by the algorithms and the robots.
Yeah. I guess it's time to go back to the bulletin board days. I mean,
Right?
I was talking with Peanut from 311 the other day, and he's like, man, I miss the bulletin boards. Honestly, they were crazy,
Yeah,
but
I was on the Slightly Stupid bulletin board, and it was kind of cool. And like, there was like a Sublime one too. And like, yeah, those are cool. Like, and then somehow those disappeared. It was like, somehow the spam robots come in like the ones that come into the Facebook events and try to sell you the fake tickets. Like they come into whatever is a cool place and they start to destroy it. So watch out for the robots.
Yeah, we had that a couple times with the elevators. I would get to a show, whatever show we're doing, especially on the stick tour. People would have bought tickets within the group and they got spammed. And I would have somebody come up to me from the venue and say, hey, these people said they bought tickets. And I was like, oh man, I mean, it is just a mess on social media, man. It is a mess.
I know. And they're getting smart too, because at first it was just like, okay, are you really going to buy, tickets to a show in Boston from a guy from, the Middle East or, Africa? Like that doesn't really kind of make that much sense. Like, and the English is not really spoken that well, but now they're taking profile pictures that kind of look like grandma or grandpa in Ohio.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
watch out. Get your tickets at the proper sources, the proper channels, or from a friend.
Yeah, and that is at rootsofcreation.com if you guys are wondering about that. ROOTS creation.com. I missed the of. All right, we're ruined now. Anyway, so hey, if you guys are just tuning in, you missed it. You're late, man. That was a really interesting chat there, man. I didn't know if we were going to go into this or not, but man, so many artists are talking about this. Social media is just so messed up right now. So make sure you go out and support your artists from their platforms. It's a very, very, very good point there. And one more time, how can people join your family?
Of course, yeah. Just go to our website, rootsofcreation.com, and click on the tab that says ROC Family, and you'll be guided through some steps. And actually, you do get an option to get some free merchandise if you want, and just covering the cost to get it to you. And we just try to hook people up with the music, because the music is the message. The music is where it all stems from, and where the community is gathered around that space. So, we like to hook people up.
They do. You should check it out. rootscreation.com. We're going to move on now. Speaking of the music, you got a new record, man, and it is a banger. So it's another volume 1. So it's Dub Free or Die Volume 1. It's out now. The vinyl is going to be on pre-order. It is on pre-order right now. Exclusive merch, pins, and CDs on the website. Once again, rootsofcreation.com. Tell us about the new record, Brett.
Hell yeah. So the new record, Dub Free or Die, would not have happened if COVID didn't happen. We interestingly enough, started the album before Grateful Dub, the reggae infused tribute to the Grateful Dead, with a different producer. We listened to it. We didn't like anything that we did. We deleted all of it, every single thing, everything, except we kept the bare bones of it, like the concepts, and used them as like Lego building blocks. Like if we had built a house, we just destroyed it and kept the foundation. And then Andrew, our sax player, who goes by Dub King Productions, I gave it to him and I'm like, Andrew, you've always wanted to produce some stuff. I've heard you do some great stuff. I'm like, this is your project. I'm going to focus on the live streams, my kids, writing songs and stuff. I'm like, you're going to produce this thing. Like, it wasn't a commercial record, like, not that I wouldn't have taken a risk on him. He's an amazing producer, like with that, but it was like, there's not a risk here. This is a record for us. We're making it for us, and we're making it for the super fans. This is not like hey, let's put this out and see, how we can blow up. This is like, it's for the love. It's for fun, and it's for people that like jamming and dub music. And so he took it and he knocked it out of the park. I mean, he
really did. He really did. It's amazing. It's so and I didn't know that Andrew produced this record. I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
He produced it. And then once he handed it over, we had our front of house engineer, Pete, kind of dial it in, clean it up a little bit. And then I walked in there and I was like, okay, let's turn this. This is a very soundscapey. How can we sequence this to make it kind of feel like something that you want to listen to front to the back? Because, say all you want about the album being dead, and singles are where it's at. But I feel like in this genre, I wanted to make it feel like a movie, like a cinematic, thing. And it's working, because people are telling me, oh, I put it on, I go to the gym, and then, 60 minutes later, my workout's done. So it's like, it's kind of like something you can listen to study to. It kind of has an arc to it. And then we put a couple of bonus tracks at the end with lyrics, just to kind of be like, hey, we're still here. I still have stuff to say,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah. but I put that like the white rain noise like before that because I wanted people to know like that the record's done, but like this is it, and also like my daughter, my 3.5-year-old, her name's Iris or Irie, she likes to go to sleep to rain. So I was like, well, I keep giving these royalties to this other guy that makes the rain noise. So why don't I make my own rain noise and let her listen to that? But she doesn't like it because it's got white noise in it. So
oh no. So it's
no, she's like, I don't like the and I'm like, oh my God.
Hey, we're gonna talk about family life here later on, but I want to hear one of the new tracks.
Light it up. So I wrote this chorus with our boy Granite Lion, which I think you met on tour, Paul.
Oh, I know Paul.
Yeah,
everybody knows Paul.
So we were smoking a little bit, and I was like, man, I got this chorus, and we started bouncing back and forth, and I like how it turned out, and I didn't know what to write for the verses. I was kind of stuck, and I was like, I'm not gonna wait around for this shit. So I reached out to Mighty Mystic, and I was like, dude, you got to fill in these spots. And then Andrew hit some horn lines and stuff, and it's been fun trying to figure out, what Mystic did on the verses and try to flip it myself. Original version features Boston's own Mighty Mystic. Here we go. Damn, it feels good to be alive when you're living free and feeling high. Throw your hands into the sky and light it up. Come on, light it up. Damn, it feels good to be alive when you're living free and feeling high. Throw your hands into the sky and light it up, light it up, light it up, light it up. All my people at home, you can blaze that good herb if you have it. Get those lighters in the air. Let's go.
Lighters up.
Light it up and let the flame ignite. Blaze that fire to the morning light. When the fire done, you got to relight. Give the sun a break and light up the sky. Oh, it's them East Coast boys. Pull up to your spot and the peach rose boys. Cloud it thick, we can cut it with a knife. Hands up high if you love the vibe. And wave them side to side. Wave them, keep them high. High up, we high up, we high up, we high up, we push it up. Na 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 na. Hey, damn, it feels good to be alive when you're living free and feeling high. Pull your hands into the sky and light it up. Come on, light it up. Damn, it feels good to be alive when you're living free and feeling high. Pull your hands into the sky and light it up, light it up, light it up, light it up. Ba 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 ba. Hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up, put them higher. Touch the sky and keep them high, and then we spark the fire. Yeah, it's a party, yo. Split and Bacardio. Kick like karate, yo. Split like karate, yo. You naughty, me and my shawty. Backs to go Serati, it's a party. If you wanna get high with us, touch the sky with us, say yeah. If you wanna get lit with us, shoot the shit with us, say yeah. Damn, it feels good to be alive when you're living free and feeling high. Throw your hands into the sky and light it up. Come on, light it up. Damn, it feels good to be alive when you're living free and feeling high. Throw your hands into the sky and light it up, light it up, light it up, light it up, yeah.
Brett Wilson, Roots of Creation. Woo! That is the first ever live performance we've had on the Simmer Down Radio program live from home.
That's
here.
What I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'll go back to the album cover.
Yeah. Light It Up is the name of the track. It's on the brand new record that is out and available now everywhere music is sold or streamed. Dub Free or Die Volume 1. Is there going to be a Volume 2? What's coming up next, man?
Man, we have so much music. That's what I'm talking about. How the jamdemic. I'm going to use that from now on. I was calling it the pindemic because the pins kept us afloat from bankruptcy. We could call it the jamdemic. So the jamdemic spawned this whole plan that we have, which is to release as much music as possible. Hopefully, can continue on with what we were doing, like a song a month or a song every other month. And yeah, there's definitely will be a volume 2, because typically with a record we'll put out, whether it's live or a studio album, we'll put like 1 or 2 instrumental songs just to show people kind of like what the vibe is like at the show, the jamming out, the progressive rock meets the reggae and the dub and all the different styles in there. And I figured, what if we do that on a whole record? What if instead of just a little feature on a record, what if the feature is that style, that what we bring, that I feel like is pretty original. So there'll definitely be volume 2. So we're kind of collecting everything on a little document. Okay, what songs could be on there? There's some songs, that old school songs like Giraffe and some other songs we've done in the past that we could kind of bring back. And then everybody in the band is kind of like their own producer. Like Tal produces stuff, Chris produces stuff. Everybody kind of has their own ideas and their own little side projects. So I'm kind of encouraging them to bring some rhythms to the table, bring some dubs to the table, bring some stuff to the table for the next volume. And thanks to our fans, we did a Kickstarter and we were able to put out volume 1, and we surpassed our goal. So part of surpassing the goal was to make one original, like, song based record that we'll put out. So we'll have at least one single that's kind of like it's song based. It's not going to be a dub song. And then we're going to put out at least one song from Grateful Dub, a reggae infused tribute to the Grateful Dead, volume 2. So we have one of those songs almost done. So we're kind of working on 2 or 3 projects at once and just trying to stay as creative as possible, not be a slave to the road as we were before. Even though that was our bread and butter, this kind of opened our eyes to what are we here for? Okay, we're here to have fun and play music. Yes, we want to survive and make a living, but how do we balance that with the newfound freedom of being with family and the newfound freedom of being in the studio and being creative and engaging with people online. So it's been awesome to go back to shows. I think we probably squeezed in like 50 of them once things opened back up between my acoustic gigs and the band. But now it's getting to be fall. It's it's going to start, the snow's going to come. It's time to kind of hibernate back into that creative studio space soon, I think.
Absolutely, man. And if you guys want to join this rock family, you really should. The ROC, baby. What was that one? I got to check this in real quick here. I want to make sure. Yeah, go.rootsofcreation.com. Go.rootsofcreation.com or just rootsofcreation.com. Join the family. Check them out. They got a brand new record out and it's almost all dub. And we love dub. I love dub. I mean, you started putting out those songs. I think it was, within the past 6 months. And I see with the Arabia with Mahali and then Mammoth. And I'm like, man, this is some get down stuff. And that's what you guys really set you apart from a lot of the other reggae bands, man. You guys have this, Grateful Dead influence, of course, but man, all these genres are just shooting in and out of your veins within your music, and then at the shows, you guys just love that dub, that jam. Why is it so important in your show and your music and what you guys do?
I guess we always thought, like, like you said, what can we do that's different? Like, all my favorite bands were always bands that like broke the mold. For me, like, one band that everybody in the band loves, like, that, is Rage Against the Machine. Everybody in the band loves Rage Against the Machine. Like, our drummer currently, like, he's he's into ska and like jazz and punk and stuff, and like he likes doing what we're doing, like he's really good at it. But not everybody comes from the same background as me, Chris was in Fear Nuttin' Band. He was the band leader. Like that's metal and reggae music, like, and dance hall, like that. There's not a lot of jamming. I mean, there's two guitars playing intricate lines and stuff, but it's not a lot of improvisation going along. But everybody's kind of, throwing their own 2 cents into what we're doing, and which is amazing. But they all like the fact that we do something, different than, what everybody's throwing down. And I think that, that's been a challenge, I think, for us, for the general public. Always, if you're doing something that's different, how do you describe that? What is it? How do you tell somebody what it sounds like? Really almost impossible unless they come to a show or listen to a bootleg on the internet, or, you know what I mean? Like it's really hard to articulate. And I think that as more people come to shows and more people listen to it online and see videos and understand and listen to this new record and are like, oh, I get it. Like that they have all these facets, and like, you kind of have to be down with, all the styles. Like you have to be, willing to have a couple courses at that, like, restaurant. Like, are you willing to expand your taste buds a little bit? One of my buddies is like, I just got this quote today from him, because we were like nominated for a couple of New England Music Awards, and everybody gets to talk about who do they like, and I talked about, the Elevators, obviously, and some other bands that I liked, that were nominated. And I had no idea my buddy DJ Midas, who I fucking love. I listen to a lot of DJs and electronic music and hip hop, and just to see how they blend things together. Like how are the tempos? Like how did they go from song to song without stopping? Always admired like Disco Biscuits and Sound Tribe and bands that kind of try to do that live. So he goes, quote from DJ Midas, "I love Roots of Creation. They end the rules." And sounds so juicy.
I love that.
I love that. They end the rules.
You
which
do.
Which is cool. Like that made me so happy, because it's like you struggle as a musician. You're like, am I doing this right? Do I have to bear down to the pressure to be like everybody else? There's all this stuff that nobody really talks about or thinks about, and it's like, no, stay true to yourself. Like people like it when people break the rules, Crowley liked it.
Oh, I don't break rules. I don't know what you're talking about. If you guys don't know, me and Brett and Roots of Creation, we work together. I mean, I TM for them sometime. We're really, really good homies here, man. It's so good to see you and talk to you and see you doing great, man. And I'm going to go way back we don't have a whole lot more time, but
yeah.
How did you find music?
I would credit my parents. There were some friends showing me some stuff when I was younger. A lot of family, I would say family, because one of my oldest stepbrother, he gave me like a trash bag full of cassette tapes. Ooh. And it was all hip hop, because he had moved to CDs, I think, or just kind of changed genres, but it was like all hip hop that I was not allowed to listen to that I wanted to listen to. And I was pretty young, and it was like KRS-One, Boogie Down Productions, Eazy-E, NWA, like stuff that like they all had the explicit lyric sticker. My mom was like, no, you can't have that. And he gave me a trash bag of it. And I was like, yes, this is fucking awesome. And then, my mom, you remember, like, did you ever do like the Columbia House, like 10 cassettes for a penny or 10 CDs for a penny?
I don't think so. No.
So like in my day, there's this thing. So the record labels wanted to sell a lot of copies of the records. So they didn't know how they were going to do that for some stuff, or they had overstock. So this company, then multiple companies afterwards, Columbia House, started doing this subscription thing where it was like 10 CDs for a penny. But once they had you locked in for the 10 CDs, then they were going to send you a CD every month, and they were going to recoup the money, and the CD costs like $20 or something crazy like that. So, So everybody would sign up for these clubs under different names and different addresses to keep getting the 10 CDs or 10 cassettes for a penny. So all my friends and I were running the Columbia House scam, trying to get, new music. And I asked my mom, what should I order? And she's like going through the whole magazine with me, and she's telling me, oh, you should get this or that, like this blues artist like Freddie King. My dad's like turning me on to Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. He's turning me on to Peter Tosh, because he got turned on to Peter Tosh by Rolling Stones. Some John Lennon, just like a lot of classic rock stuff. Led Zeppelin 2 was a hugely influential record for me. And then some friends that were into like punk and metal, like getting into that. Newbury Comics for me in Boston was like a really big outlet. That and Strawberries, where, there wasn't the internet when I was growing up. So like you'd go to the record store and like, okay, where's the section that I like? Okay, punk rock. I like punk rock. What's new? Like, what's in the skateboard videos? Like, what's in the cultures that I'm involved in? What are just trying to figure it out.
I miss those days. I don't like the internet. I mean, the internet has its pros and cons, and we talked about social media and everything, but man, those where you could just go to the store and just like, roll through everything, and you hear through word of mouth what bands are kicking it. I wish we could go back to that. Maybe someday we will. Maybe this whole thing will come to a halt at some point. Who knows, right?
I mean, I still think that's still the most important way. I mean, if you see something on social media or something, about a band, you're definitely more likely to investigate them or click on it if you're having a coffee or a beer or a meal with somebody and they're like, hey, have you ever heard of this person? Or they've texted you or something and they're like, hey, you should really check out this person. You haven't had a chance yet. That word of mouth is still undeniable, whether it's, I feel like the electronics, are the form of communication. But I do miss going to the record store and digging through punk rock 7 inches and getting told by my buddy like, oh, if you like 311, you're gonna love this band Sublime, and then listening to them and being like, wait, they're doing every genre that I like in one song. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like that kind of sense of discovery, digging for gold, isn't the same when it's not in a physical landscape. It's a little different,
Yeah, it's really just all come to word of mouth on the comment sections of social media, and it's crazy what's happening, man. We don't have a whole lot of time, man, but if you're just tuning in, you're late. Don't even worry about it. We got Brett.
Just go home.
Just go home. Roots of Creation, man, from New Hampshire. My homies from up in the Northeast, man. You've been doing this for a really long time, and you're really, really passionate about it. I see how business savvy you are and how much drive you really have. And you've probably seen a thing or two, I'm sure, on tours with us as well. But I want to ask you, what is the most important thing that you've learned over the years about being a professional touring musician?
The most important thing. I mean, I think one of the things I struggle with is burnout. I think a lot of people don't talk about mental health, burnout, self-doubt, judgment, peer pressure, all the different pressures that are on you as a human being trying to make it in a difficult financial landscape with so many things to navigate and so many different groups of people and subsects and almost like little frats and different organizations of people. And that's a difficult landscape to navigate, not knowing, am I going to make enough this week to pay this bill, or, is this show going to be successful? Do I have enough money for, the bagel shop in the morning? Like, so, making sure that, you're not buying into the fantasy of, have fun, but buying into the fantasy of the rock and roll traps of, you know, alcohol and drug use and that kind of stuff, I would say, is pretty key. I read enough biographies where I, had some missteps in my life, but steered clear of, hard drugs. And, I stopped drinking alcohol a couple years ago. Didn't really have a super problem with it, but I just noticed that it's like when you go on tour, it's like you're binge drinking. Like, I don't drink at home, but then all of a sudden everything's free where you go. And then it's like, it's fun. And it's like, let's do shots after you play. But then it's like the next day you feel like crap and then your voice is suffering. So then I have to make special tea with ginger and honey and like repair my voice and like get extra sleep because, and it's just like, it's like, why am I doing this? Like, let's just go and do the music thing. You can still hang out with people and have a good time. Like, I'll hang out until 3 a.m. playing music. Like, I don't need to like do a bunch of blow or like drink a half a bottle of tequila to stay. I'll go, I'll drink a couple shots of espresso. I'll hang out with you on the beach of Mexico until 3 a.m, but I don't have to like destroy the serotonin in my brain and then like self-doubt myself for 3 days afterwards to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I mean, it's a lot of people are like, oh, well, it's a party every night. It's like, well, yeah, at nighttime, but like during the day when you may be hungover, you can just lay in your bed all day. When we're hungover the next day, we're driving 8 hours sometimes to the next gig, and we got to be on our game. I mean, it's such an important thing. I'm seeing so many musicians as they're getting older making that move towards being healthier and not burning out. That is a very, very good point, Brett. You can't burn out. I mean, it will end up biting you. And
yeah, and it's like after I toured a bunch, I at first when I read about, Jerry, doing heroin to fall asleep and then doing blow to stay awake, I'm like, what is he doing that for? And then you start touring and you're like, oh, I see why he was doing that. Like, he's wired from playing in front of like thousands of people and he can't fall asleep and like his brain's moving. And then so he takes something to fall asleep and then he's hung over the next day or he's tired and it's like he's got to do another show. He's been on the road for 300 days. So he needs a little like bump up or whatever. Like, it makes total sense to be stuck in that kind of cycle. This is very,
man, that is such a good point, man. Don't burn out. It is so easy to do that. And, you've been doing this for a long time and, people like you that have been doing it for a long time, got the experience, been through it all, and you learn from it. Only time tells, what you got to learn. So real quick, man, rootsofcreation.com. If you guys want to check it out, go.rootsofcreation.com for the to join the rock family. Definitely.
yeah.
So many ways to check it out. You got a brand spanking new record. So stoked on it, man. Dub Free or Die Volume 1. And you got the vinyl. You can pre-order the vinyl now. You got stickers and pins. You always got all the cool gadgets and gizmos. You got shows coming up.
We don't have the things that all the kids are into these days that my daughter wants to buy.
Those gadgets and gizmos.
The poppets. Have you seen those?
We have some of them over here.
The fidget toys.
Yeah, they're kind of cool. My producer actually showed me those things. So, hey, you got real quick. Also, you got some shows coming up Wednesday, November 10th at the Paradise Rock Club. That's always a banger. Thursday.
That's gonna be I'm really excited for that one because we're doing it with TGR, Teton Gravity Research. They're debuting a movie, and it's really our first time headlining the spot. I mean, we got to play with when you were at I believe you were at that show with when the Elevators played there. There was four bands or something. So we've played with multiple bands, with Equal Time or with somebody else headlining, but we've never done it like where we're playing an hour and a half set. And it's nice because I like playing with other bands, but that night it's just a movie and then us. So it's like, it's pretty cool. It's going to be a fun night.
Yeah, absolutely. What else you got coming up? Any other plugs you want to hit before we get to this last question?
Yeah, I got a couple solo shows. I got one Portland, Maine. I'm doing a Grateful Dub set acoustically, and then an original set at the Thirsty Pig in October. I'll be flying out to Cali for the Kilo Brewing Festival, playing with Fortunate Youth and Article Sound System and a bunch of great acts. Kaleo from Pepper. And yeah, I'm trying to think of what else we have cooking. I know we're doing some festivals in 2022. I think we have one more show on the books. I'm sure there'll be more announced sporadically, but we're playing with Badfish in Vermont at the Paramount, which will be cool. That was postponed from the summer. So yeah, just lots of acoustic gigs and, you know, a handful of band gigs, and we'll be in the studio having fun.
Absolutely, man. Rootsofcreation.com for more info on everything at Roots of Creation on the socials. One more question, man. I've actually never interviewed you before. So
Yeah.
When that happens,
Okay.
one final question. And it's always a different answer.
Do I get to ask you?
Everybody. You can ask me a question. You can do that.
Okay.
But this final question is so open-ended and it's so fun because everybody always has a different answer. You ready?
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure, Brett. Thank you so much, man. It's so good to see you. Even though it's on a screen, it's so good to see you. Hope to see you at a show coming up soon, man. So what does reggae mean to you?
Oh yeah. What does reggae mean to me? Man, it means a lot. That's a hard question. I think if you go to, you gotta, for reggae music, you gotta go to the origins, the roots of creation, to the beginning. You know, I saw a post by Peter Tosh's granddaughter of Peter Tosh explaining reggae music and how important it was to go to the origins of it and the spirituality of it, and to not lose the spirituality, because if you lose the spirituality behind it, it becomes diluted, and I'm kind of interpreting what Peter was saying, but you're watering it down. It's kind of like Michelob Ultra, you know. It's not like it's a you know, a very light, low calorie version of what the original music was, you know, about life, the struggles of poor people in the ghetto. It was, you know, people trying to find their identity through spirituality, you know, discovering, you know, who they believed to be a second coming of Jesus Christ and Haile Selassie. You know, there's a lot of stuff that kind of gets lost in the mix in America, I think, when it's like all about like smoking weed and being at the beach surfing and whatever it is, because it got mixed up with you know, skateboard and surf culture, which is totally cool. And I love American reggae rock, and I love the aggressiveness of it. I love, you know, it's really where I find a home musically. But I think, you know, we have to remember, you know, that where One Love came from, and, you know, what reggae music's origins. You got to go backwards to go forwards, you know. Even though they say to go forward ever, backwards never. You still need to go to the roots to figure things out. So, you know, whenever we play this song I wrote with Pato Bonton, a time will come when the message will rise above, together as one, light up the dark, the day is done. That song for me, when I sing that, that song to me is what reggae music means. Because I tell everybody to get their fingers in the air if you believe in the power of reggae music, reggae rock music, if you believe in the power of one people, one destiny, one love, if you believe in the power of people being united, put your fingers in the air. And I try to create a moment in space and time and have everybody kind of meditate on that concept. Ultimately, there's so many facets to reggae. My favorite artist is, somebody asked me at Ziggy Marley, who's your favorite reggae artist? I'm like, that's really difficult to say, but probably Buju Banton, because, he's got down and dirty sex songs. He's got, dancehall anthems. He's got like power to the people, revolutionary shit. Like he can do everything. So there's so many topics to express, but I think that you got to remember where it came from, and I had right before COVID, I had the blessed opportunity as a present from my girlfriend to go to Jamaica for the first time in March, right before the pandemic. Would literally hit a couple days after we got home, and see for myself, kind of where things came from. And, that really grounded me. I've always researched the culture and tried to be respectful and, not take it for granted and, give back. But that was like really cool to, see what's what, go to the museums. This is where he grew up, the humble beginnings of Marley and Tosh and Bunny. And, we went to like a little kind of symposium of people discussing the origin of ska music and how even that started to go global and lost the culture behind it, kind of going when it started to go into England and all these other places. And the bands that were chosen to represent it globally were not all Jamaican. They were mixed bands or white bands. And just seeing how like, stuff is always kind of imported from the islands and changes. And, just learning a lot of stuff. I like to read a lot. I like to learn. And, reggae music is kind of an education. I
mean, I think Giant Panda said it so great. Reggae is a wild word, man. That's why I like to ask that, because, it's just so open-ended and there's so many different avenues, and the roots are so important. I hear, so many artists talking about the roots. It is very important, man. So there's your answer, everybody out there. That's what reggae means to Brett. Brett, it has been a blast, man. You want to play us out?
Yeah.
All right, man.
Yeah. You want to do a song to close it?
Yeah, let's close it out, man. Hey, if you guys are just tuning in, don't worry about it. Too late, man. We had Brett from Roots of Creation on here, man. We love him so much. Always, man. Rootsofcreation.com, Rock Family. Check it out. Go.rootsofcreation.com. Check it out on the social medias at Roots of Creation. Dub Free or Die Volume 1 is out now, man. You're going to play us out.
Cop that signed CD, cop the vinyl, stream it, join the family. The family doesn't cost any money. It's just a good vibes, good times, and staying in touch. And our good friend, Pete Boards, our front of house engineer, we let him produce this song. It's a song by the Allman Brothers and Warren Haynes called Soul Shine. We had Jesse from the Agrolites and Paul and Dela from Stupid, and we actually had your boy Nick Asta on percussion on this one.
Yeah, I saw that.
So like it was a fun one to do. He was like, you guys got to cover this song. We're like, yeah, okay, Pete, well, yeah, someday. And he was like, fuck that, and he just started building the track, and he's like, and now you're gonna do it. We're like, all right, cool, let's do it.
It's been a pleasure, man. Thank you so much. Brett from Roots of Creation is going to play us out, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
When you can't find the light that got you through a cloudy day, when the stars ain't shining bright and when you feel like you lost your way. When the candle lights are home, burn so very far away. Well, you got to let your soul shine, just like my daddy used to say. Used to say soul shine, it's better than sunshine, better than moonshine, damn sure better than rain, better than don't mind. We all get this way sometime. Gotta let your soul shine, shine through the break of day. Grew up thinking that I had it made, gonna make it on my own. I could take the strongest man, make him feel so alone. Now and then I feel a cold wind blowing through my achy bones. Think back to what my daddy used to say. Boy, there's darkness before the dawn. Singing soul shine, it's better than sunshine, better than moonshine, damn sure better than rain. Hey, now people don't mind, all get this way sometime. Gotta let your soul shine, shine through the break of day, yeah. Sometimes a man can feel this emptiness, like a woman robbed him of his very soul. A woman too, got love, you can feel like this. Oh, when your world seems cold, got to let your spirit take control. Talking about soul shine, it's better than sunshine, it's better than moonshine, damn sure better than rain. Now people don't mind, we all feel this way sometime. Gotta let your soul shine, shine through the break of day. Gotta let your soul shine, shine through the break of day. Gotta let your soul shine, shine through the break of day.
Brett Wilson, Roots of Creation, rootsofcreation.com. We'll see you in the future, brother.
Thanks for having me, Crowley.
Peace and love. Blue, come on over here. I always want to bring Blue in because he's my man behind the scenes, my co-host. Everybody shout him out because he's making it happen, all right?
My boy Blue, my boy Blue.
Yeah. Peace and love, Brett. So great to see you, man. We'll
WUTK in the house. Simmer down.
Yeah, simmer down.
Who's got the keys to my bima?
Program over. See you, man. So great to talk to you, man.
Thanks for having me, Crowley.
Peace. All right.
Peace.